Yes, hello, and welcome to Crosscode. Quickly before we begin, we have to talk a bit about spoilers. This game is very story focused, so I just want to mention that the speedrun for the game, at least the no major glitches, shouldn't spoil you on anything apart from a few enemy and boss designs. So even if you haven't played the game and you're planning on playing the game, you should be just fine watching along for the speedrun. Just don't think too deeply about the cutscene. We do skip through like basically all the cutscenes. But hopefully you won't feel spoiled watching it. You shouldn't. Okay. And with that being said, I think we'll just jump right into it and I'll start explaining. So we'll begin in 3, 2, 1, go! Now right off the bat, you'll notice that we can skip all cutscenes by speeding them up, and we'll basically just be spamming this throughout the entire game. And right now, we are just playing a bit of an intro tutorial thing. We aren't even playing as the character we're supposed to play as throughout the game, which is Leah. But what even is this game? Well, it's a sort of unknown indie game released in 2018, and it's an action RPG inspired by games like Zelda and The Secret of Mana. And honestly, it is great. It's a really great experience. It has both great combat and great story. I really recommend you give it a try, obviously. The speedrunner always says, introducing the game. But with that being said, this was the first part of the little tutorial done. We just got introduced to melee combat, which is going to be our main combat throughout all of the game. And now we're going to be introduced to both our main character, you just see here with the blue hair, and shooting, which is going to be used as mainly for us a puzzle mechanic, but for some it's also their combat. But melee just deals a lot more damage, so we'll mostly be using melee from now on. At least when we unlock it again. Tutorial stuff. First skip of the game, just a short jump there, skips a single switch. And this game, basically it teaches you its own puzzle mechanics, and right now we are being taught how switches work. Truly innovating stuff, I know. Also, our character is sort of mute. She can say a few words, such as hi, Leah, and later on she'll learn a few other ones, but those are the main ones. So if you want to show your support in chat, write hi or Leah so I can see you. Now these guys are the first enemies we're going to have to deal with as Leahs, and they are just rats, and they actually can't deal any damage to you. I just jumped off for no reason. I thought I already hit this. They are a bit RNG since their movement, well, is RNG. So they move them out randomly, and sometimes they can be really nice to you, and sometimes they can be really annoying. Now, it hasn't been too bad so far, but you never know with these guys. Okay, they're looking like they're being really nice to us, so that's always good. Now, our toolkit is kind of limited right now, but we're unlocking the next kind of ability, I guess you could call it, the next kit, which is dashing. Now you can dash 3 times before there's a short delay before you can dash again. Luckily, later on in the speedrun, we will unlock a little bit of tech that will allow us to skip this delay by overriding it with another animation, being the guard art. Not the guard, just the guard. So for now, you'll see me dashing around 3 times before holding a short break and then meleeing. Now, some of the astute among you may have noticed that I don't have a break before I start meleeing again after doing a full combo, which is 5 attacks. I just go directly into the next combo by dashing. The reason for this is dashing actually cancels the waiting time for the melee to, the melee combo to reload. So we use this innocently. We use this as the innocent part of the speedrun, cancelling different animations with other things, be it attacking while jumping or dashing while attacking. And here you see a good example of how dashing is faster than running. So if we're good, we can race Clara here to the door. Let's see if we get this. It's just a bit of a skill check. Oh no! Oh no! Just a bit too slow there, but that's fine. We're still just completing the main tutorials of the game, so there's nothing really too hard about it. But a kind of hard skip is actually coming up in just a bit. For the first boss, I'm going to be going for something called Crab Quick Kill. And it is a bunch of tight inputs, followed by hitting a 2-frame window with your dash, dashing straight through an attack, and then followed by a more, like, extremely tight inputs. Hopefully we'll be able to, like, get it, but even if we do get it, there's only a 1 in 3 chance the trick will actually work, as it requires critical hits. You gotta love RNG, right? So, we'll see that after the turret here. And for this turret, we basically just stand here and attack it, seeing how good we are at melee cancelling. We need to deal 1400 damage for the turret to, well, break, basically. And we hope to do that in 1 shield cycle. Sadly, I did not do enough damage for 1 shield cycle, so we did a bit of a second shield there. Not the full shield, though. But here comes the crab. The big bad boy, he is. We do a bit of manipulation for the crab here in the beginning. Doing 1 normal attack here, and then we force him to jump by standing against this barrier. He was actually nice this time, not giving us an extra jump. So we'll just stay straight up into the crab quick kill here. Let's see if we can get this. Now. Do pray for crits. Now! Oh! No! Oh, that's so bad. I hit all of the right things. We just did not do enough damage. That's so sad. We have 1 more attempt at it, but that is better than it has ever been shown in a marathon. I hope you get the idea. A little more damage and we would have actually broken through the face. That's just too bad. Okay, 1 more attempt here. Oh, that's not looking good. Oh, I was a bit too early on the dash there. Sadly, that's just how it goes with these things. So we just wait for the crab to jump a few more times before hitting him, and we will unlock our next little piece of tech, which is infinite dashing. I suppose I can just explain it now, actually. So, as I said, there's a bit of a delay after 3 dashes, but like most thing in this game, you can actually just cancel this delay. And in our case, we do that by just holding the guard button and letting it just flash up on the screen for 1 or 2 frames, and then immediately dashing again. You'll see it here. So you can see. Oh, nope. That removes the delay. If we don't let the guard flash up, we will spin out, which you saw me doing there in the beginning. It's sort of annoying, but it's just a timing thing. Practice should make you perfect, but clearly it doesn't. And that's actually the tutorial of the game basically done here. Or at least the first part of the tutorial, because the tutorial for this game is extremely long. And in general, this game is really long. It's a 30 to 40 hour experience in total. But as you might see from the estimate, we cut that down by a lot. And we do that, I'll show you with some really fun skips in just a little bit. We just got introduced to the fun side character, two of the side characters actually. Now, whoa, did you just see that? What I just did there is called a long jump. Now, normally, there's no jump button in this game, and the jump is a set amount of distance. But if you just attack after jumping, you can actually dash. And so we use that to get further distances than we are supposed to. And that's the way of innocently breaking the game. As the category name suggests, this category does not use any menu glitches, which basically breaks your saves and it does all kinds of crazy stuff with teleporting. This category, however, mostly just relies on these simple few tricks, especially long jumps here. This is the hardest jump in the game. Oh, and we get it! That's so nice. Okay. I set that up wrong, so I'm actually really happy we get that. Now we're gonna skip the entire bottom half of this dungeon by just doing that precise shot right there, skipping us from going into the bottom door here, and then we can go straight into the next unlocking room where we unlock equipment. And equipment in this game is extremely important. If you're struggling at home with this game, it can be quite difficult. You should look at picking up some new equipment. Oh, I was trying to do a speed strat here to equip the equipment a bit faster. Sadly, it messed up. Well, as I was saying, equipment is extremely important. It's actually even more important than levels. So instead of grinding for levels, consider grinding for a new piece of equipment, or perhaps consider using the consumable items that we will be using plenty of during the next part of the run here, or the later part of the runs mostly, actually. Consumable items can be just as broken as equipment, and they last for a long time, which you will see later. Now we're just cleaning up these enemies. These are the first real threat, I guess, of the run. And so one last little puzzle here before the first puzzle. Not puzzle. Oh. Okay, that's not how that is supposed to go. Let's see if that works. Yes, it does. Now, the boss here is rather easy. We do a bit of a trick so we can continue meleeing him. You'll see what I mean in just a few seconds. The first health gate here being really easy to break. Just guard the attacks when they come out, right? And now the platform moves away and we are supposed to stand like in front of him and shoot him. But that's slow, so we just stay on the platform with the boss, keep attacking him like this, and you deal a lot of damage, and this just trivializes the boss completely. Oh, and what is this you're seeing on the screen? Something just said break in front of the enemy here. And that's a mechanic in the game where you can break the enemies. Basically, every single enemy has a different break mechanic. And breaking the enemy... Oh, it's actually just hit through the shield here. Breaking the enemy makes you deal more damage, and in some cases also makes the enemy not able to move. Ooh. And more unlocks. This is great. This is the circuitry. The way it works is there are special attacks in the circuitry as well as passive bonuses, like attack. And the way we use the special attacks is with the blue bars you see at the top left of the screen. Now. Now, I said this was a linear story-focused game, but I was actually lying to you, because this is actually a open world. Now, let's see if we get this. Yes. So, what I did there, I used a tutorial to place me down on the wrong side of the barrier, guarding the last area of the game. So we just went from the very first area of the game to the very last area of the game. All enemies you see here on screen are level 60 and would immediately kill me if I were to try and attack them. But this game knows that I'm at the wrong point, and it will try to fix my save and actually place me back to the right point, which it does on certain load entrances, like this one. So let's see. Do you want to fix the game? Yes, I want to fix the game. Oh, thank you. Where are you going to place me? Well, you probably did the first part of the game already. So let's place you at the second area of the game after the first, like, little boss fight. So we are now at the second area of the game, and we're going to be running around and just picking up a few items, some food items, some equipment. But this would be a perfect time if you have anything to say or any sort of messages to read.
Perfect, perfect. We have a $25 anonymous donation that says Crosscode. Yeah!
Yes.
And that went towards the Shizuka boss fight for Crosscode. And now when the hot sauce dilemma is over, we do need to get a Shizuka boss fight met. It's right now at $275 out of the $500 we need. So let's go ahead and try and snap that. We have a little bit under an hour before we have to close that incentive. So let's get those donations in, shall we?
Absolutely. And thank you for the donations. It's always a pleasure to see Crosscode run at events, because people just pour their love out, both in chat and with donations. Now we're going to be doing a little bit of a puzzle here, and we, of course, aren't going to be doing it the intended way. We're going to line up some precise shots here. Let's see. Ooh, that's the first one. And there's the second switch, and that way we don't even have to look at this puzzle to pick up a really good piece of equipment here called the Rock Splitter. It's a sword. Ooh, that's great. And now we're going into the first city of the game. Normally the cities are filled with amazing side quests and good story, but we aren't going to be doing any of that. Instead, we're going to be going straight into the vendor, and we're going to be selling half our stuff and then immediately buying better gear. Yes, so let's do that here. Ooh, the menuing. Now we're also going to be buying some food items. These are spicy buns, and what they do is they increase our attack for 10% for like 2.5 minutes or some crazy amount. We can carry them from fight to fight, and it's really good, and you'll be seeing those used throughout basically all of the fights. Now we want to enter the dungeon that's at the top of this city, but we actually can't yet because we need to progress the story. Oh. So we quickly have to go join a guild. And luckily, this is by the way the first area of the game, on the way there's the greatest piece of equipment in the entire game. So it's a level 13 vest called the Assault Vest. And why is it the greatest vest of all time? Well, it's because it has the modifier Assault, which makes you do an insane number, like an insane amount of damage, because it shoots out more projectiles. So we're going to be equipping both our new swords and that vest, And fun fact, we're going to be using that vest until the final boss of the game. Oh, I got unlucky there. That is extremely unlikely, actually, to not die that Hellcat. Well, while on the way to the guild, we have to join to enter the dungeon. We are going to be killing these Hellcats, and that's just for XP reasons. We want to get a specific level for the final boss to do a really, really cool strat that we hopefully won't miss. So anyway, a bit of story, and then a little bit of an RNG fight before we begin the dungeon. So here's the RNG. Please spawn nice. Ooh, that's a great spawn for us. We want to kill these hedgehogs, because otherwise we're going to be 6 XP short at the final boss, which is not fun. And I guess I should say, so, sorry about that. Long jumps, as I talked about, they are a great mechanic of the game, but they can be really hard for certain distances. And so we have a sort of improved version of that called a buffer dash art, where we jump off, and instead of long jumping by meleeing and then dashing, we instead just hold the quick menu, and then we activate a dashing art like so, and we can just use a bit of food here to make that go the distance we want, skipping the first puzzle of the game, not of the game, of the temple mine dungeon here. And now we unlock chests, which we get the key in the chest to unlock this door, and then we're going to do the absolutely intended solutions. This is definitely the intended solution. There's nothing wrong with this solution. Let's see if that works. And it does. Okay, that's definitely the intended solution for that puzzle. Don't question it. Now, a quick first fight for the dungeon. These guys will charge at you, you dodge them, and you can break them. Ooh, again, unlucky with the insta-kills here. That's not really good. Now, first floor, we're going to do another fun skip, skipping the half of this room. We're going to be basically using long jumps to go up a bit and then hit the switch while the switch isn't down. We aren't supposed to be able to do that, but you know how it goes with these games. Fun skips all around. Now, coming up is a bit of an RNG fight. We hope for good RNG, obviously. Let's see here. Okay, so we're going to be trying to kill all of these guys with 2 bombs. That did not go as planned. Ooh. Okay, that's fine. Luckily, they didn't attack me, so everything ended up fine. Now that fight can be a bit finicky with the bombs. Bombs do a lot of damage to you if you don't dash through them with the combat art we used. And the combat art is actually really practical because it makes us not take damage from the bombs, which we can use in this room coming up here to potentially skip a cycle. It's quite precise, so I will need to focus a bit for it. Oh, is that actually going to work for the first one? Yes, just barely. Okay, and here we go. Shot. That looks correct. Oh, that looks correct. Yes. Okay, so we just skipped having to wait a cycle for that. For the platforms to move, which saves about 6 seconds, and it's surprisingly precise actually. Oh, if I was able to aim, I would also be able to hit this. That's great. Hitting that switch, redirecting this, and now we're going to basically skip the rest of this ride because we want to get off at this stop. And now the first actually hard enemy in the game is coming up here. The quick kill for this can be very finicky, and sometimes he just decides to spawn boulders in your way, which we do not like. So let's see here, we do a full combo, a dash out through him, and that looks good. Now just a bit more damage here. Ooh, okay, that was actually pretty close. And we immediately kill this guy, and we're going to be carrying this food item, which I ate. It's the blazing bun, the upgraded version of the spicy bun. It does 20% more damage, and we're going to be carrying that through hopefully all of the rest of the fight of Temple Mine, except for the final one we do. Ooh, I failed a long jump there. That's how that looks. A buffer dash out here just to skip the rest of this puzzle, because puzzles are dumb. Now, everyone loves ice puzzles. Like, if you ask any Zelda player, they will just tell you, oh my god, I love the ice dungeons. And obviously, as you can see, everyone in the Crosscode community also loves the ice dungeons, having the first dungeon be the ice dungeon. And sometimes that just messes you up with the movement, and sometimes, apparently, my arts just disappear. That's fine. As you can maybe tell, a lot of the fights are very choreographed in this game. Though, of course, everyone moves a bit RNG. But hopefully, if I do things right, every fight... Oh, that's actually weird. Every fight should go rather quickly here. Now, this guy didn't really give me the attack I wanted, which is a bit of an annoyance. But we'll just have to make do. Our food item is still looking hot. You can see the food item timer on the top left as well. Now going through these rooms just as quickly as we can. Actually solving some of these ice puzzles. How annoying. Now we're gonna skip this one by doing a long jump here. And then we're going straight into the next fight. Getting introduced to another type of enemy, the kamikazes. And these guys can either throw fireballs or bombs, as you just saw there. Now to break these enemies, you throw a bomb at them and you explode it in their face. Quite self-explanatory stuff. I don't know why they would like spawn the bombs themselves, but it can be helpful. Now we're gonna do a short skip here. That actually... Okay, just got it. That going that slow, it probably doesn't save any time, but normally it would save a few seconds. And now a big ant fight here, trying to keep the blazing bond active. For some reason, when these ants spawn, they have less defense, and so you can just deal more damage to them right as they spawn. And we'll try to abuse that by doing either a charge shot or a ball of steel, one of our combat arts, to hit them right as they spawn. You can see I got one here. Ooh, and we are pretty close to dying here, so we don't want to do that. These guys do a lot of damage because we don't have any boots, nor do we have a helmet, so everything does a lot of damage, as you can see. Already getting down into the red here for the first time. Probably not the last time doing this run. This game can be quite difficult casually, and in the speedrun, we don't get enough items to actually make this game easy. I mean, some part of the game can be easy, some part are really tricky. Now, coming up here, the next trick, and the newest trick in the run, bomb warps. Basically, if you switch rooms right as a bomb explodes, the explosion spawns in the new room. And we got it, so we just skipped the bottom barrier boulders here, and now we're gonna skip the bottom boulders here as well. Yes, so normally you would have to wait 3 times for this guy to spawn bombs, which is boring, slow, and annoying. And now we only have to wait for him once, which he does here. We're gonna see if we can insta-kill him. Yes, we can. And then pick up the key, and we're gonna do the mid-fight of this dungeon. But in secret, it's actually the final fight of this dungeon, because we aren't going to beat it. We're going to be unlocking an element after this fight, which is basically all we want from this dungeon, apart from a single thing we'll get right after. But that element will be very useful later on. In fact, it will be mandatory to beat the game. Now, there is a quick kill for this guy, and it can be quite tricky, and it's very bad to miss it because of EXP reasons. So let's hope he's nice to us. Oh, that's the attack we want to see. That makes this quick kill even easier than it is. Now, it shouldn't be a thing you miss, but sometimes, you know, the luck just isn't in your favor. Now, killing him at a very specific time allows us to get all the XP from all these ants you see around us, which is why this quick kill is very important to get here. And leveling up right before we get the first element. Now, every element has their own skill tree, their own combat arts, and their own fun mechanics that we can play around with. And especially heat is going to be very vital later on when we get level 2 combat arts. But for now, it's just a basic damage increase. And let's actually do that circuitry, should we? Brawler increases our attack for melee. And there we go. That's all the arts, all the things we get here. Now we're gonna do a little cheesy strat here. By re-entering the room, the block here spawns back at its original position. And using a bomb, we can just force it upwards and skip that puzzle there. And now one final little jump in this puzzle. Oh, no. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, we need to actually do the hard trick here because I messed up. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's what I mean. Dash arts are a lot easier than doing a precise jump, as you just saw. Oh, and here, a last fight here. And the reason we do this fight is because it unlocks the next tier of chests for us. And we really want the final tier of chests, because that's basically where all the items we're gonna use in the... Oh, that was sort of unlucky. That bomb just went right through that enemy. Okay, let's just actually not die here. Ooh, yes. Okay, dodging this guy because I'm scared. Not getting hit by this guy. Ooh, and we don't want to overload. If you attack too much with an element, you will elemental overload. Like you see there. Ooh, can we kill this guy as well? Ooh, it's gonna be close. Okay, we don't want to die, so I'm just backing off here just to make sure. Oh, we love ice physics, don't we? Slipping around on the ice is always fun. Now, again, don't die to the boulders. Oh, we're in the red already. Okay, we got it. Much more nervous fight than it should have been. There's the Thieves Key, unlocking the next tier of chests here. And now we're gonna skip directly from the second area of the game to the end of the third area of the game by doing another fun little barrier skip here. Now, the first combat out here is not useful for this skip because it places us in the wrong direction. But luckily the second one here will work for us. So yes, tutorials actually can be useful for some reason, even in speedruns. Who would have thought it? Now we're gonna quickly accept the quest here to basically go into the next sort of dungeon area. It's actually like a bit of a pre-quest to the dungeon that we will do next, and it's called Maroon Tree. And while going there, I think we have time if you want to read out a donation or any messages you want to shout out.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, to all of you pedestrian watchers, I'm fine. The hot sauce has subsided, so I can go back to usual programming here. We have a $50 donation from Kapan LF that says, if you guys didn't know, Gule is actually the world record holder for NMG Switch. Also, don't forget your tier 2 guard arts. Thank you so much for that lovely donation. And it is going towards the Shizuka boss fight.
Oh,
so let's get those donations in, shall we, everyone?
Yes, it's sort of a meme that I'm the world record holder on Switch. It was my first playthrough, and I just decided to record it and, well, make a speedrun out of it. So that's the world record. I'm the only person who's played it on Switch, or at least the only person who's submitted it on Switch. Now, we actually just got a new party member. His name is Citron, and he can be the most annoying little... You know, in the game, there's this awesome menu you got, where you can turn off party members attacking. But because we skipped the first area of the game, we never unlocked this menu, and so we can never tell Citron that we don't want you to attack the boss. And in fact, we want to set up the boss health in a very specific way, and you should definitely not attack him right now, because otherwise you're gonna mess it up for us. So hopefully we'll get good Citron luck, and the boss of this dungeon coming up in just a little bit will target Citron and kill him. Or maybe he'll just get stuck behind a rock. He likes to do that as well. Now, a bit of a hard jump coming up in just a little bit to get the next item we want. As I said, items in this game are key. Yes, okay, we got the little jump there, unlocking the hidden blade. And we actually are going to be doing a bit of shopping, selling both our old weapons, because we don't need them anymore. We will get the better... Oh, selling first, please. Yes. And we'll get the better version, the steel edge, and even buy some boots. What is this? Safety? No way. Let's equip that. Oh, steel edge. Still rocking the assault vest, because we're going to be doing that until the end of the game. Unless, of course, we have to do the shizuka fight. Because that's simply impossible. Almost. Well, it's at least too hard to go for in a marathon. I'm sorry. Now, these Tims here, to break them, you need to attack them with heat. And we can get lucky if these guys stack up, please. No, looking like we got a bit unlucky there. Now, these guys, I know I just said we got boots for safety, but they are very necessary. These guys deal a lot of damage, and they can just hit you out of nowhere with their homing rocks. Who thought that was a good idea? We have 2 more rounds of this, but I'm gonna explain the boss of this little tree here while we go. It's actually just another little Tim, except it's even more red somehow. And the way it works is he spawns up on a platform, and you have to defeat his little minions to get up to that platform. But if we place a secret combat art, not a secret combat art, but a not ever used combat art, let's be honest here, no one ever uses this apart from the speedrun. It's called Ashen Mine, and it's right here. If we place 4 of those very precisely in a very in a very precise timing, we can actually break the boss without killing all its minions. And so we obviously want to do that because it skips us having to kill those minions. But the boss also just damages like a truck, and it's a quite precise timing. And as I said earlier, Citron can screw you over, and the boss can screw you over as well. What is this? RNG. But luckily, it doesn't really matter if we miss it. We just have to make sure not to die, which does become a bit trickier. But hopefully we'll manage here. Now, a bit of a skip here to skip the last of the normal fights here, and then going straight into the boss fight. And as well, here we ate a food item in the beginning of this entire place, and it's still active. And we're actually maybe going to carry it onto the boss itself, but maybe not. I think I was a bit too slow to actually carry it all the way. Now let's make sure not to die here. We don't have that much HP. Oh, 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 no. This is annoying. He's targeting me. Let's just take it slow here. Oh, okay. That's good. We need to break him one time. Get him low. Okay, stop targeting me, please. And go. And we get it. That's so lucky. Nothing goes wrong. That's great. I think that's the first time that's ever been done correctly in a marathon. And that should really tell you something about how it can just screw you over at any time. And now we even get lucky with him targeting Citron. What is going on right now? Great. That's the tree done. And we'll immediately jump into the next hard fight. There's really just no breaks. In this game, we're actually going to use the same food items that we ate. So that just tells you how quickly they are stacked up. We just need to do a bit of story here beforehand. Maybe accept a little bit of a quest reward. That's the guy we have to beat, the green-haired dude who just jumped by. If you had played the game normally, you would know that he is a reoccurring fight. And in fact, the fight we're going to be doing is called Apollo 2. And as you may have noticed, we skipped Apollo 1. And we did that in the beginning. Which is great, because Apollo 1 sucks to fight and is really hard. But luckily, Apollo 2 is much easier to fight. So let's just do that, actually. Oh, and using a bit of a cheat here. If you eat a food item before the fight, it actually lets you carry that into the fight. And oh, that is not good. We actually need to win this fight in order to progress the game. So I definitely need to, like, man up a bit here. What just happened? Okay. Heat phase. Oh, that's not good. Oh, no, he's jumping away. He's not being nice. He's not cooperating with me at all, actually. Oh, no. Oh, and we die again. This is not looking good. Just the suspense is killing us. Okay, counter here. A precise timing for a guard, and you will counter him. That's his break mechanic. Let's see what he's doing here. He's doing another shooting phase. We haven't had any luck with this so far. Oh, and I think this is the first time we have luck with that. That's another round down to us. We need to win 5 rounds to win the fight. And that's another round for us. Let's do one last shooting phase here, please. Alrighty, I think we got him. Yes, okay, great. Whew. He gives a bunch of XP, so it's very important that we kill him. And luckily we got it here. And we can enter the temple. Now, the bottom half of this temple is about as long as all of the things we did in Temple Mine. But we're going to basically skip it all. And we're going to be doing that after just grabbing a single key from this bottom half. And doing a precise little skip here. No, that's unlucky. We got... Luckily, just try again since it doesn't require a food item. Alright, and then this puzzle we sadly have to do almost intendedly. And then picking up this key. We're going straight into the next boss fight. There's really just no break in this time. Doing a skip here to skip the entire bottom half of this dungeon. If only every dungeon was like this. Spoiler alert, almost all of them are. Now we need to quickly set up some circuits here. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to get this and this and this. That's some great stuff right there. Now this quick kill is very precise. Hopefully we'll get it. I will talk you through it, but sorry if I speak a bit fast. I'll say it while doing it for comedic effect. Now, that's the worst pattern in this entire fight. That's great. Really, the marathon log is hit or miss right now. Now, we're gonna get him low here. And we're gonna do a specific, like... we're gonna do Ashen Mine, Ball of Steel, first cut, make sure the first hit of first cut breaks him, then first cut again while switching to heat in between so we do more damage. Okay, simple, really, right? Luckily we get it. That's actually going really great so far. And we unlock the next element. Now, sadly, we cannot skip the rest of the dungeon. So sad. We actually need to do a dungeon in this game. Impossible. But it's luckily not too bad. It is a sort of hard, like, skill-wise dungeon. There's a lot of small things that can just go wrong. Ooh, and the first jump. The first jump twice. Great. And a puzzle here we are going to be skipping as well. Now, fast row casually is actually quite fun, at least in my opinion. In the speedrun, it's super tough. There's just so many things that you have to remember and have to do correctly, and the margin for error are just razor thin on some of these strategies. This one, not so much. This is actually probably the easiest fight in the entire dungeon here. Oh, and I even messed it up, but it worked anyway. So I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, mainly just normal puzzle gameplay. And I guess I'll use this opportunity to talk about my username. Because if there is a competition at ESA for the most cringe username, I think I will at least place in the top 5. For those unaware, my username basically means yellow teddy bear. Great name, I know. It's even a misspelling of yellow teddy bear, though a cute misspelling of yellow teddy bear, if I do say so myself. And you know, when you are 6 years old, you don't really remember or realize the consequences of your actions. And so this is a perfect example of it. I'll pull him up in just a second here, where this guy has shaped my entire online persona. Like, come on, how can you do that to me? So now every time I say my username, I cringe inside. But anyway, that I guess tangent aside, we're doing the next little fight here. These moths, you break them just by hitting them with a charge shot with ice, very specifically ice. And ooh, good luck there. That's nice. And otherwise, just normal gameplay actually for most of these fights here, because, well, we can't skip them, sadly. We need to pick up keys in order to unlock the puzzle of the game that gives us the master key to fight the boss for this little dungeon here. Okay, and I guess we can actually skip this floor. Let's do this here, skipping over that entire puzzle. That did look complicated, so I'm glad we skipped that. Now another fun little hop here, and another great fight. This fight actually unlocks the next tier of chests for us as well, the silver chests. But we basically won't be opening a single silver chest because, again, we only pick up these keys because we want the final tier of chest, which has such juicy equipment that can just allow us to plow through the enemies. Now, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I probably am. I'm sure all the speedrunners in the chat is just screaming at me that you have forgotten to explain X, Y, and Z, and I'm certain I will forget it and then remember it tomorrow morning or something. But other than that, this is just... Ooh, actually this is the first introduction of this upgraded moth, where the break mechanic is just a tiny bit harder. Basically, we can only break him if he's attacking or right after he's attacked. And so, you can see me waiting for them to fire their attacks or charge up their attacks, as you saw there. Ooh. Yes, and everything should be going right if we don't level up there. Yes, that's great. Doing a skip here. Ooh, there. And we pick up this key. But sadly, there's actually no way to get back because we skipped the puzzle. So we need to quickly save and reload to get placed back at the entrance. And I guess that's a good time to say it's actually really hard to get softlock in this game. There are very few places that you can get softlock because you can just always almost teleport. Now another great intended solution here from the developers, who would have thought that they figured that they would give you 3 blocks but actually force you to only use 1 here. This is a precise shot, and in fact you can actually use 0 blocks there, but it is so precise a shot that even I don't go for it. Now I am a bit of a bad gamer since I aim on controller when I have a mouse right in front of me, but that's just how I normally do this stuff. We also picked up a new helmet, Dented Crown, a really great helmet, and a quite well hidden chest. A lot of people miss that one when they first go through the game. Now we are missing just a single key here. Not actually, we are missing 2 keys here, which means 2 fights and 1 more puzzle. I think it's 1 more puzzle. Yeah, alright. So let's do this. Another great puzzle and skip. No, I forgot to hit the switch. You know, that's Crosscode 101. Hit the switch to unlock the barrier, and if you miss the switch, well, that's just free time loss right there. We don't say no to that. Ooh. Alright. Now this fight, again, quite choreographed. We want to spawn a bubble at a precise time, so we want to kill these guys at a pretty precise time as well, but it's not too important. They spawn bubbles again if we fail it, so... Now these guys, as you may see, they break from getting their own bubbles exploded in their face. Now, one last guy here. Now that is the guy we want to keep a bubble from. Don't spawn it now, don't spawn it now. Aww. We want a bubble because we need to make it ice in order to break this guy. Now that was a bit of a slow spawn, but that's fine. So, just to deal damage. And that guy does deal a lot of damage, so we want to break him as fast as possible, just in case we get close to dying. Hopefully not again. They should be pretty safe for the next little while, from the dying front at least, which is great. Now, going into the next fight here, we're going to be eating a Flaming Bun, increasing our attack by 15%, and we're going to be carrying that to the next fight as well. And Flaming Buns are just so nice. They make this fight so trivial, compared to when we used to eat a Spicy Bun instead. Like, you just melt these enemies. It feels really good to fight these guys. And this was actually, fun fact, the first fight I struggled with casually. So, like, it's just great to melt them like this. I just get such a sadistic pleasure from just seeing them die after what they did to me on my first gameplay, on my first playthrough here. Now here comes the big puzzle of the dungeon. Basically every dungeon, like main dungeon, has a big puzzle before the final key fight, or just giving you the key for free after the dungeon. We're using the charge shot attack to complete this dungeon, making sure that the charge shot hits all of these little side tracks and removing all obstacles in the way. They need to hit these guys, like the... Oh no. Oh no, we're gonna fail it. No, we need to do that again. I'm so sorry. And I actually failed it immediately again. No. Oh, that was close. Oh, nope. Okay. This is what happens when you suddenly mess up, right? You need to get used to not having the things set the way you want them. I'm so sorry. We need to watch this entire thing again. We sadly cannot speed this one up. Some of them, some of the puzzle you can speed up by using Ball of Steel that just flies a tiny bit faster. This also means that our food items probably won't actually last through the entirety of this fight, which is a bit annoying because that means that it is RNG whether or not we kill these enemies, which we would preferably not have it be. But we're gonna do a cool strat here to just insta-kill these normal guys, shooting one combat, switching to heat to deal more damage, and then just melting that health bar. Look at that, just immediately destroying them. I always find it fun just to see things die so quickly in this game, because this game is hard. And fun fact, no, not fun fact. If you do find this game hard, I suggest you play around with the difficulty sliders. They are meant, like the game is meant to be hard, but if you just find it too hard for you, play around with those and find the difficulty that works for you. That's the beauty of this game. It even has puzzle difficulty sliders if you find the puzzle moves too fast for you, or anything along those lines. Now we can see my food item ran out, so I'm just not killing them instantly. How unsatisfying. And these guys move randomly as well. No, why must you ruin my perfect run? Now just 3 enemies left till we get the final boss key here, so we can finally see what could possibly be the final boss. Spoiler alert, it's a moth. Another one of these guys, except it's huge. A lot of people struggle on it on their first gameplay. Hopefully you'll get some strats if you are planning on playing this game casually. Strat number 1. Get that combat art. Oh. Doing the right circuit things are hard, and remembering to do them is even more difficult. Now again, we're going to be eating a food item before fighting this boss. This time just a spicy bun, because this boss, honestly, not that difficult once you get it down. I say that, but I'm probably going to die just from jinxing myself. Let's see here. We use our combat art here, the Hail Flurry, sorry, to break him fast. And then we switch to neutral for the first round here, hitting him, because we don't want to overload and we want to get a bunch of the juicy SP, so we can use a bunch of our combat arts here. Let's see here. Oh, he duped me. That's not nice of him. And it does mean that I won't be able to go for the skip here. Let's actually just try it anyway. Oh, sadly not. We can actually jump over that barrier, but it is very precise, and it is so unclear when you jump in this room for some reason, because those stairs just fool you. Oh, and we have to be careful here to not overload. We are very close to overloading, and we do need ice to complete the puzzle as well. I think we aren't going for the skip here, because just in case we overload, we don't want to die here. So we're just going to do it normally here. And that is the second dungeon of the game. And this is a perfect time for a few messages or donations if you have any.
I just want to do a quick shout out for the bid war that we have. It's slowly creeping to its closing point. We are a couple of people in the chat, so if we maybe started a $5 train perhaps to get that incentive met, maybe. Anyone willing to start a train? Choo-choo. And speaking of that, we have a $10 donation from Urenstain that says, "Kill Shizuka." I think you can guess where that donation went.
I think
Thank
I
you
have
so
a pretty
much.
good idea, yeah.
Thank you so much for that donation. Let's start a $5 train, shall we?
Now I'm just doing a bit of story here. It's basically not important. But what we just unlocked is huge. We just unlocked the second tier of combat arts, which are absolutely broken. They are from now on our main movement tech through the game, at least elevation-wise. Now, we aren't actually going to be doing the next area of the game, which is the fourth area, nor are we going to be doing the fifth area. But we need our party members here to skip doing those because story reasons. The story sort of breaks if you don't. Now we're gonna do a pretty precise here. There is a mod for this, but I didn't set up the hotkey, which is why I'm not using it. So we're just hoping for the best here. And we did get it without the mod's help, but thank you to Yoshi anyway for making that mod. Now, the combat art that are broken that I'm talking about is this one specifically, Blizzard Hawk, as well as the Heat one, which is the most broken one, Flabburn. Now, what Flabburn does is it makes you shoot a laser, but what it's importantly also does is it elevates you off the ground. And now not a lot of combat arts do that, and that's because the developers know that's gonna break stuff, and it does indeed in this game as well. If we dash against the diagonal wall, and we time it correctly, and we use that combat art, we will just be placed on top of the wall once we exit that combat art. And you'll see me do that in just a bit, but while I'm walking there, I'll also explain the second broken combat art, Blizzard Hawk. So the way Blizzard Hawk works in this patch of the game, it is patched out sadly in the newer versions of the game, is they allow us to do a trick called moon jumps. And as you might imagine, it's another one of those flying really high kind of tricks. And the way it works is if we get the status condition Jolt, we will hit ourselves with the combat art, sending us flying. But right now I'm just gathering a bit of SP, the bars in the top left again. I need to gather them from combat, and this is the flare jump. Just skipping that puzzle completely, picking up a nice piece of equipment there, the RA, and sadly it's actually the only piece of equipment we pick up before the next dungeon here, which does mean the next dungeon is going to be absolutely brutally difficult in some sections. Now we are just gathering SP, we need 6 SP, and we preferably want to gather that while being rather close to getting Jolt from these cats here. You can see my Jolt meter just below, or sorry, above my health bar here. Okay, I need to heal a bit, and then we're gonna get Jolt. Oh, no! Oh, okay, we got lucky, don't get hit. No! Sadly, we need to do this again, I think, because that combat art just does do a lot of damage to me. But that actually does remind me that I haven't unequipped my weapons, I think. No! We would have just died anyway. And this is fine, because we actually still have all the SP, because we didn't use it. Ooh, so it was actually a blessing in disguise from the shortcuts that they didn't give me Jolt when I wanted. We need to heal a bit here just to make moon jumps consistent. Oh, I did not hit that guy. Ooh, are we gonna have time for 2 moon jumps here? Ooh, it's gonna be close. Now, timey, wimey. Let's jump and fly. No, what? That's no way that didn't work. Ah, we need to do it again. Are you serious? You know, something must go wrong in a marathon run. For Crosscode, it's just a tradition at this point. And I guess moon jump is just the thing for me. Okay. I can't believe it actually was over that quickly. It shouldn't have been over. I think we should have had one more, but let's try that again. Oh, and fly! Okay, we did fly this time. That's great. Let's try again. Maybe fly 2 times. No! What? Immediately dies. It doesn't matter. Luckily, no, it does matter. What is going on today? This has never happened to me before, I'll be honest. We need to gather all the SP again, and we need to do the shock again. This would be a great time for some messages while I just do this stuff one more time here.
Alright, we got an anonymous $5 donation that says, "This game is freaking awesome." Wait, so we got a $5 donation. Can we keep them coming in? Making a donation train. Choo-choo!
Oh my god, I got Jolt too early there. I didn't get to heal, which means we gotta get it again. But that's fine. Hopefully it will actually work this time. Okay, we're going for one moon jump here, so health will be fine. And then we're gonna do the backup strat, because clearly moon jumps just are not being nice to me today. Oh, and we got crit as well. Holy. Seriously, moon jumps, you could be a bit nicer at the marathon, I'll be honest here. It's really rare that moon jumps screws you over, so that's very surprising to see here. But we did manage to get over it. Now we get a new party member, and we need this guy to break the story so we can enter the next dungeon. And as I said, it's a hard one, guys. It is very easy to die. We have not picked up any items that give us health since like 3 zones ago, so... And we are also critically underleveled. Anything can kill me in here, so let's hope for good luck. And that I pull off all the strats, hopefully making the fights somewhat easier. Now, just before the first fight here, we gotta do a short puzzle. Just, again, the game trying to teach you how to do the puzzles first. So, you feel very accomplished whenever you complete these puzzles. Now, one last one of these ball ones here, and we will eat a spicy bun to increase our damage. Now, we just need to shoot these enemies to break them, and we will use this combat art to break them quickly. Now, tanking those screams is extremely detrimental, and they do a lot of damage. So we really want to dodge those guys. Oh, and the setup here working as intended. Okay, no, okay. As you can see, they do a lot of damage. Luckily, this fight should basically be over now, so we aren't dying today. 3 of those guys will actually just immediately kill you. Now, one more puzzle here before one more fight, and then we can finally do the very hard part of this dungeon, which is the Gauntlet. But before that, do we have any messages? I'm doing this wrong.
I have a short one for you.
Yeah?
$20 from Ethan that just says gaming.
We are indeed gaming. Oh no! We were just a bit early with this, so we need to hit this magnet again. That's just how it happens sometimes. Can you imagine doing puzzles in a speedrun? Seriously, let's find a way to skip these guys. Sadly, I don't think it's possible. Unless you do some save trickery. Now, slimes are the easy enemy in this dungeon. Luckily, there is an easy enemy in this dungeon. Every other enemy trying to kill you and doing it easily. Now, we're gonna eat the blazing bun, our last blazing bun of the run. And then we are going to just skip the rest of this dungeon. Like that. And now we're doing a huge gauntlet of enemy here. And there are just chances to die at every corner. And if we do die, we need to start it all over again. Now, luckily I'm somewhat decent at the game, so probably we won't die. But looking at how the moon jump went, nothing is ever certain in this game, huh? Now, luckily the fights do heal us in between here. And we do have nice strategies to just get rid of the fishes, because the fishes just deal so much damage. And the jellyfishes, of course, here. These squid, I guess you can call them. Now, that isn't exactly the lineup we want here, but I think we will make it work. Yes, alright. Now, we want to get SP, because there's a very tricky enemy at the end of this fight. Ooh, and we're gonna be fighting them low on HP, I can see. Now, we do have enough HP for the... SP, sorry. For the trick we're going to be using to kill these guys. These are my favorite enemy in the game. But they are a pain to deal with in a speedrun, since they deal a lot of damage and they can just be so hard to deal with. Now, final 2 hard fights. Just dodge this and we won't die. And that should be basically the rest of the fight is free. So I'm gonna count down from 12 on spawn. That's 12. And do help me in chat. That's 11. That's 10. And 9. And 8. We saw him spawn there. 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna do a combat art to finish it off. Except they decide just the worst timing to do that attack, where they become almost invulnerable. But it's fine. Gather a bit of SP here, and now we finally unlock it. We unlock the final tier of chests, which will allow us to go back to the last area of the game and pick up all of those good items. So from now on, the game shouldn't, hopefully, kill us as easily. And we also unlocked the next element. Nice. And again, we aren't doing the rest of this dungeon. Why would we? We got the element. Now going back to Sapphire Ridge, a really beautiful area in my opinion. We're just gonna initiate combat here to not lose all our SP. And then we're gonna do a fun dash flare here. Oh, I miss it. Oh no. And I miss it again. Third time's the charm. Third time is indeed the charm. That's lucky. Alright. And now we are going to pick up a few more items. But, got anything to say? While I just... Oh, die apparently. Oh no. Well, I guess I'll pick up these items again one more time. While you maybe tell us something interesting.
Alrighty. I have talked a ton about shizuka boss fight because we really want to meet that incentive. But have I told you that if you donate a certain amount total during this event, you get the chance to win one of our lovely prizes? Anyone heard of our lovely prizes for this event? We, for example, have a grand prize if you donate more than $250 in total during this event. You have a chance of winning a custom ESA PlayStation 5. Or maybe you want a Nintendo Switch with the Tears of the Kingdom. That's also a minimum of $250 during the event. But if you're looking for some of the more lower values, we do have, for example, some nice prints where you only need to donate a minimum of $15 to be eligible to win these prizes. As well as some Gauntlet G4S wireless controllers with a minimum of $10 donated throughout this event in a chance for winning them. So, while donating, you have a chance of winning prizes, you make some crazy incentives go off, and most importantly of all, you help in the fight against Alzheimer's, which is the key difference here. So thank you everyone so much for donating for this amazing cause.
Now coming up is a pretty difficult fight. Luckily we have a strat to hopefully insta-kill them. If we don't insta-kill them, there's a high likelihood we die here. Luckily we have a few tries at it with the food items that we have. So I'm just gonna equip the new things we just got and eat a flaming bun. And then we're gonna gather SP again. Story of my life, huh? Now it shouldn't take that long because there's a bunch of enemies to hit here. And so we're going to be killing these samurai bugs. And they do a lot of damage and we have to fight 4 of them at once here. Now doing a little bit of a trick here to make sure our party members does not interfere in this fight. Ooh, is that gonna work? That is gonna work. We need to do it one more time though. And ooh, and we hit all of them. That's nice. That lets us pick up a item called the Warkeeper, which is the strongest sword that we can pick up from chests. And it is just an amazing item because it has a modifier called Berserker. And what Berserker does is it makes us deal even more damage when we are at critical health. So if you see my health blink red, we deal a lot of damage. And we'll be abusing that in some of the fights coming up later. Now this dungeon, I'm a bit nervous about, I'll be honest. There are a trick coming out called Taz Flares. And as it sounds like, it's extremely precise. Otherwise we wouldn't put Taz in its name after all. Luckily we can just frame advance by going into the map in the quick menu. So we'll be using that to hopefully get it. Now it isn't completely consistent and there are backups hopefully that work. Now we need to gather SP from these guys. Yes. Ooh, is this gonna be enough SP? It is good. Alright. Now I know I did just say that we were gonna do the task flare, but actually let's quickly do some circuits first before I forget them. Now we're gonna go straight into this wall and we're hopefully gonna clip through. I need to line up on a pixel here. Let me just see. One more should be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we did jump. This is good. And we're gonna clip through the fence, hopefully. Yes, okay, that's the first one done. That means we can skip this fight and then go straight into the next one. Alright, let's see here. That's too high. Oh, that's not gonna work either. SP counting down, timer counting down. Oh no, that's not gonna work either. That's the wrong way. What are you? Oh, this will work. Yes. And that's straight through the barrier there, skipping all of this dungeon as well. And that's just the story of Crosscode dungeons, honestly. We basically skip all of the dungeons. If you want to see the dungeons in this game, consider playing all dungeons. That's a category name, by the way. Guess I should clarify. Though those guys do use save magic to make the game go by a lot faster than it should. Now this gauntlet, it should be the same as the shock gauntlet, except we have equipment, and equipment is key in this game, as I have said, and so all of these fights are just easy peasy, lemon squeezy. As you can see, we just melt these enemies down. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Let's just actually kill that guy. Spawning these guys. And I guess we do an alternative strat here, using that early and waiting for this to spawn instead. That's fine. We need to end this fight with SP, by the way, because we need to do a flare burn immediately to skip into the next dungeon, so we can just skip some quests, which are slow, obviously. Now, the next dungeon, we are also going to be skipping basically all of the dungeon. We are going to be skipping the entire bottom floor and the entire top floor. And now that dungeon is even longer than all of Fast Row, I believe. So skipping all of that dungeon is just a huge portion of the game. And we're also going to be melting the boss that really was super difficult, at least in my casual gameplay. I don't know if you feel the same, if you've played the game at home. Also, I want to say, in case you don't have any spare money to donate, consider using a Twitch Prime sub. That should also go directly to the donations, right? To the total. At least I think so. Now we're gonna do a fun little skip here for the bottom half. I'm gonna go for the hard version called the Shave. So let's just line this up. First we shoot here, then we do a shot ball here. Now line this up and do a precise shot here. Ooh, is that good enough? No, it's not. We try that one more time here. Now we do need this wave shot in order to skip this half. Oh, I think that's good. No, again, just a tiny bit too high on the shots here. I am aiming on controller, which maybe doesn't make it any easier, but that's how it usually does it. That's too high. Oh, the Shave fooling the speedrunners again. This is quite the precise shot, but it shouldn't be this precise. Holy cow. All right. Oh, does that work? Any messages to hide my embarrassment here while I keep missing this shot? Oh, no, really?
I can take this time to ask, how long do we have before we have to close the Shizuka fight incentive?
Oh, that actually works, sorry. We have a few more minutes here, but not too long.
Alright, so this is the final shout out to try and snipe that Shizuka boss fight incentive before we sadly have to close it.
Yes, after the end of this fight would basically be the time, not this fight, but this dungeon, which is very short, as you'll see in just a bit. Now, doing circuits, we haven't done circuits for both of the new elemental trees, so there will be a bunch of them, so I'm switching over to keyboard just to make it a bit faster here. Now we also need to do some shock circuits. These are very important for the ape quick kill that is coming up here. That's also a great way for me to check that I'm on the right level, and I am. And we need to do just the last bit of neutral circuits. I guess I can explain a bit about how the circuits work. While in an element, you get the passives of that element, as well as half the passive of the neutral circuitry. So the neutral circuitry is really important for these fights. And we do a lot of damage now, and we have a lot of crit chance. In fact, we have a 30% crit chance, which is really high, which is both extremely good and extremely annoying. Now let's melt this boss real quick. Just completely destroying him, even over-damaging by like 6,000 damage there. Or maybe it was 60,000, I didn't see. I think it was just 6,000 though. Now this is the second half of this dungeon. Again, we're going to be skipping all of it, using a little trick called box clip. Now, they luckily placed a little key here. Probably nothing important, right? Those aren't very important. And the first thing you can get from this side, if you complete the puzzle normally as well, we're just going to skip the puzzle here, is also key. Now, hopefully, the developers, there aren't anything important locked behind. Just 2 keys, right? It wouldn't be like you could access the final puzzle if you have 2 keys at any point in this dungeon. Well, maybe you can, in fact, do that. And here it is, the barrier holding us back from beating this dungeon.
So...
Oh, yes?
You know how I said last minute to snipe?
Yeah?
How about a $140 donation from Anonymous?
What?
To close and finish the incentive, so you will be fighting Shizuka.
Thank you so much for that donation, and thank you for letting me show off that fight as well. Hopefully it will go great. It is a really hard fight though, so we'll see, but it should go great. I've practiced it a lot. It is coming up after this dungeon here. Now we did just pick up the master key for this dungeon, and we're going to be going for a trick called Whale Quick Kill. And it requires us to not crit. And as I said, our crit chance is 30%. So 30% of this time, this trick just does not work. Hopefully that's not this time. Please give us some good marathon luck. Already spawning the whale on the wrong side. That's very rare. Now, fun fact, this whale deals half our damage in one attack, so let's not get hit by him. We need to set up his HP in a very specific way here while completing the puzzle. You can see we deal a lot of damage, and we want to skip all of these health bars. Now, why is this skip hard? Well, it's hard because we need to let the first... No, we crit! That's so... Classic marathon luck is all I have to say there. Well, if we hit him with the right combat art, and the first hit of that combat art is what breaks him, we will stun lock him. Sadly, we won't get to see that, so we'll just do the normal whale quick kill here by killing the ape first, and then immediately killing the whale afterwards. And we do have to watch out a bit, because the whale deals a ton of damage, so we don't want to die here. So let's just dodge all these attacks, playing it safe here. Ooh. This is a very amazing boss fight to fight casually. It feels really great to nail, especially since the ape was so hard originally. Now there we go, that's the whale done. And that marks the completion of the final dungeon in the game. And it will also set us up for the first short break before the piece of action. So now, if you have any messages or anything you want to say, now would be a good time.
Alright, I'm gonna take this time to tell everyone now that since we did finish the Shizuka boss fight, it looks a bit empty in the tracker. We are right now working on unlocking the next round of incentives, so please do give us a moment for that. But in the meantime, this is also the final shout out for the Little Big Planet 2 costume bid war, because that's gonna close after this run as well. Right now we do have the Final Fantasy 7 characters pack in the lead right now with $100, with Crab Ray following shortly behind at 50. So if you want to change that outcome, this is your final chance as well. You only have this run to try and snipe that.
Alright. Now coming up are some of the most annoying puzzles in the game, because the collision is just not good enough. Honestly, there are 2 bamboo puzzles coming up here, and sometimes they just fail you for random ass reasons. Now we have to follow a very specific path to complete these puzzles. That's basically into the entire puzzle, is finding the path. Of course, I already know this path. Oh, except I apparently can't walk straight. So we need to follow a little bit of a specific path around these bamboos. That's the first one. And the second one coming up here. And the third puzzle is actually the most consistent puzzle. And there's also just been discovered a fun new skip for it. Or I guess it's not a new skip, but it's new that we use it. So let's see if we get that first try here. We do, I think. Yes, we do. So that's the fun new skip for the route here. It doesn't save that much time, just a few seconds over completing the puzzle normally. But it is just... it looks funny, and it's very nice. Always nice to find new skips in the game. Now at the end of this pass is the shizuka fight. We need to quickly equip the blue fiber rope I picked up earlier, because otherwise we can't counter shizuka, and that's a bit of an annoyance. Now, I've actually done the route good enough that I have an extra spicy bun here, and so this is the shizuka fight. Okay, already missed the first guard. That's good. That's good. That's a counter. We hit him 4 times extra. Do the combat art and do another one, just for good measure. Trying to make him break. Yes, that works. Now, as you can see, this guy is rather fast-paced, the fight, and as I said earlier, there is an achievement for beating a single round against Shizuka, which we did just do right there. Now hopefully she switches to the right element. She does. Oh, and a good counter there. Those are quite precise, so I'm happy to get them every time. Oh, that's not enough. I thought I had a bit more SP there. Luckily, that's 2 rounds done. We need to win 6 rounds in a row optimally if we want to beat her as fast as possible. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, good. And then we do another one. Hitting her, no, okay, that's fine, we still broke her. For some reason, it's just sometimes break her to do combat art. She will just stand there, which is great for us. We don't have any level 3 combat arts unlocked, but a fun way to not cheese her, but make her a lot easier would be using the wave shooting art called Ether Snipe. Ether Snipe deals a lot of damage, and it's just a genuinely amazing combat art. We will be using it later on in the run, and if you want that achievement, it's a great way to get it, because Shizuka can just be absolutely brutal. Now, she is giving me quite good luck so far. Let's not actually jinx this. Oh no. I want to stun lock you, but you are not letting me. Oh, are we gonna die? We aren't. Okay, is that enough? No, she has 1 HP left. Let's not die here. Okay, great. That's 5 out of 6 done. Okay, and we do one last shock counter here. That should put us into range to maybe potentially kill her. Ooh, let's get her. Yes, that's the Shizuka fight done absolutely optimally. Fun fact, in the runs where we actually do fight the Shizuka fight, namely no major skips, it is actually faster to beat her, and it gives you 5 whole levels, which is gonna make the rest of this game a little bit easier for me in this run. Though I won't be using the CP as the circuit points, just not to break anything by accident. Now there's a bit of story going on right now, before we finally go into the final boss, and we do a bit of shopping before that as well. So again, anytime, any messages you want to shout out, anything fun to say?
I do have one, a $20 donation from Anonymous that says, "Thank you for that incredible solo commentary, Gulebamse. Tuning in from New York City and sending love to ESA." And that went towards the Crab Brave costume pack for Little Big Planet 2. So once again, final chance, because during the intermission we are closing that bid war.
Yes, get those donations in while you can. You still have a little bit of time. I am a bit slow today, but luckily my estimate is rather generous, so it shouldn't be a problem here. Coming under estimate, hopefully. Unless, of course, the final boss screws up, because as all good speedruns, the final boss in this in this game is stupidly difficult, and it loses a nice 6 minutes if you don't get the strat. Hopefully I get it. I haven't missed it a single time in practice. Hopefully that didn't just jinx me there. Now we are selling all the items we don't need here to buy another chest plate. We will be using that against the final boss. And actually that reminds me, I need to remember to switch back to the assault vest here. Otherwise we don't do enough damage for one of the skips coming up. Now buying food items here. 2 malt slashes please. And food items, as I said, are super good. And we will be using them to their full extent in the final boss fight, which you will see coming up. Now, before the final boss fight, we are going to be raiding Vermilion Dungeon, not Vermilion Dungeon, the Vermilion area, which is the 5th area of the game, which we skipped completely. And the raid, normally, casually, and in the speedrun, takes 20 minutes. What? That's way too long, come on. But luckily, if you just jump out of the raid right at the beginning of the raid, it doesn't load any more of the raid, and you can just go straight into the dungeon. So you'll be seeing me do that in just a little bit here. Giving a final hug to Emily here. Hug, nice. Alright. Now we are entering with the guild. We didn't really do anything with in the speedrun. Again, play the game casually if you want to know the story. Now we're just gonna speed through these little caverns here. The NPCs can be a bit annoying here, since you can't actually move through them unless you're doing a combat art, which is why you see me just spamming that stuff. Also, it's a tiny bit faster than actually dashing. Oh no, I fell down. That's a bit of a time loss, but it doesn't really matter. It's not that important for this. As you can see, I'm getting stuffed behind the NPCs here. And this is the start of the raid, and this is where we want to jump off with a good old flare burn here. Against this diagonal wall, we get it, that's nice. And so you will just see, it doesn't load the rest of the raid. So we can just walk straight through the city. There's supposed to be like a huge fight going on. A bunch of story, a bunch of epic combat, epic moments, but we just go straight into the final dungeon instead. And enemies in here do a lot of damage. Story of this game, really. So we really don't want to get hit, and we really want to skip as many of them as we can by using this combat art, which just deals a ton of damage. And combined with the food item I ate, which is called the Spicy Beetle type, which increases our attack by a whole 50%. So long as we're doing melee damages, melee attacks, it makes us just shred through these enemies. So it's really a story of don't get hit and you won't die. And you'll just melt the enemies, as you can see. I deal quite a bit of damage. Now this guy, last guy here. And we're gonna do some circuits so we can skip the turrets coming up in a little bit. And we'll get the combat art I was talking about in Wave, the Ether Snipe. It is the highest damage combat art in all of the game, basically. It deals insane amount of damage. Oh, not enough there. Sorry about that. And then I need to switch this. Alright. Now, this is another dungeon. And like all good dungeon, this one is horribly broken. Let's just hit the switches that we need to clear the floors through the walls here. And immediately go into the last fight of this floor. That's nice. And then one hard enemy here coming up. We insta-break him just to make him a non-threat. And then Plasma Spike to kill him there. Great. Okay. Now, the same story for this floor. Hitting through walls is always fun. And we need to eat the item before going on the elevator, right? Because the enemies spawn immediately and you don't actually have time in this one to eat during the elevator, right? Now, after killing these 4 guys, a pretty tough enemy will spawn called the RNG. Now, as RNG would suggest by its name, it is a RNG enemy. Except not really in the speedrun, because if you just hit it before its shield spawn, you immediately melt it like it wasn't even there. And that's the RNGs. And we're gonna do that for a second RNG a little bit later on. Now I'm gonna eat a malt stash here, and we're gonna do a fun little trick here called, I guess it's just quick cycling the turrets here. Now we need to be in Berserker because we deal a lot of damage in Berserker. Getting these guys low. Is that low enough? It is. Insta-killing that enemy. These are just 4 bosses. And we're going to be just trying to absolutely demolish all 4 of them here. Now this is a bit close, and we need to get one more hit here. And then last one. Yes, okay, we got it. Now, those barriers can crit you, which can be very awful. Now there's just one last big puzzle here, so this would be probably the last time for donations, perhaps.
Perfect timing, because your fellow runner here, Epic Yoshi Master, has donated $30. Let's go, Gule! Amazing jump by the Shizuka fight. Shoutouts from all of us in the Crosscode Discord cheering you on.
Thank you.
And thank you for that lovely donation.
Fun fact, this is the only room standing in our way of beating this game blindfolded. Not because it's not possible blindfolded, but because it's extremely difficult. I've spent many an hour trying to beat this game blindfolded, and it's just eluded me every single time. And as you can probably see why, there's a lot of things going on in this puzzle. But with your eyes open, it is surprisingly easy after you've done it 5,000 times. Now one last big gauntlet here before the final boss. Just the normal enemies we've already seen here. Ooh, that's not good. Taking a lot of damage in the beginning here. We really don't want to do that. We healed it immediately. It doesn't even matter. While this fight is going on, do you have any last things to say?
A $50 anonymous donation without a comment, but thank you nonetheless.
Yes.
Good luck on the fight.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you guys for your generosity and the support. It's really amazing. What am I doing? I guess I'll actually do my shoutouts now, or at least a few of them. I want to shout out specifically the modding community for this game. They've just been doing such amazing work lately, making the randomizer and also the speedrun mods we use to get save states and the stuff. Thank you so much to the people who've done that, like Yoshi, who just donated before, and Mr. Numbers as well. You guys are really amazing for the community, and I definitely wouldn't be as fast as I am without you guys. And then of course, just in general, the community and the amazing developers letting us get a beta patch like called Speedrunner for the right version of the game, making it easy for anyone to just get into it if they want to. Now, I need to do some circuits before the final boss here. In fact, I need to do quite a few circuits, and we need to remember to switch our stuff around, because otherwise the final boss don't work. So let's quickly get these circuits set up. Just getting more damage. Story of my life. No safety, no HP. Actually, I'm lying, because we get a Gauntlet as well as... What is this? HP? No way! And in fact, we switch our wave circuitry to give us a bunch of XP, and then we do one little save here just to make sure, in case we die or anything goes wrong. Now eat one item and we go into the almost final boss fight. This is the second to last boss fight. It's called the Designer, and this wouldn't be a Gula run if we weren't relying on crits, would it now? I'm gonna try not to, but... Oh, guys, have you already noticed what I messed up? The speedrunning community is yelling at their screens right now. He didn't equip the laser mail, of course. Need to do that. Luckily, we saved the game, so we shouldn't need to do all the circuits again. Let me just check. Okay, we don't. Great. Okay. You gotta forget one thing, right? There's a lot of things to remember for this run, I will be honest. Thankfully, it was only one thing we forgot, and I remembered it basically immediately, because I normally don't take that much damage from this fight. Now, jumping off here to take more damage. We are going to be doing that again, actually. We are relying on crits here, guys. Pray for me in chat, please. Ooh, if I can even do this. Yes, I can. Okay, so normally we wouldn't need to rely on crits if the designer had done enough damage to me, but he doesn't, so crit, 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 crit. Ooh, that's close. Oh, and we get the first one. That's first of 3 right now. Now let's try again. Crit, 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 crit. Yes, we get the second one. I said it. It wouldn't be a Gula run without relying on crits, and let's get the third one as well. Yes, that is looking like 3 lucky runs for us. Yeah. Now, it is actually possible not to rely on crits, believe it or not, if you actually get damage from the boss, but clearly I'm incapable of doing that. All my PBs rely on crits, even though I do in fact know the fight, and I did also make the tutorial for the fight. So you would hope I know the fight at least. Now what I'm actually doing for the fight is I'm taking advantage of the fact that the shield doesn't actually spawn while he's going down between phases, and I'm using a gun. Oh, I'm supposed to take damage. What am I doing? Okay, I'm just throwing for content now. I guess we really need to rely on these crits now. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that the shield is down right now to use a Gauntlet to not take knockback and then just slam his face with a great combat art from the shock tree here. Having spec'd the entire shock tree basically into getting this Gauntlet. Oh my god, I think I forgot circuits in shock, didn't I? I might have forgot the shooting circuits in shock. We'll see on the final boss here. That may screw us over, but hopefully not. Even if that is the case, I should be able to back it up. It shouldn't be the end of the world, hopefully. Oh, and the boss is being nice to us today. He gives us the fist attack, which is the fastest attack he can give us. Let's see if we screwed up the shock circuits. We did not. Okay, great. I just got nervous there for a second. You always think you forget something here, and you don't. Now, as you can see, the boss has quite a few health bars here, and it's a really slow fight, I'll be honest here. But we're going to be doing a little trick with a combat art called Wave Motion Beam by being at a very specific health at a very specific time, basically. We're going to be skipping the entirety of this fight from, not this phase, but the next phase. But it does require me to set up my health correctly. So let's do that. Okay, this is looking good from health. Let's just switch to... Okay, I think 1 hit in shock here. And we switch to neutral. Alright, we're looking good on health right now. We need to take more damage, of course, because Berserker only works when you're in the red. That is looking mighty fine. A tiny bit, much health. Let's not fuck this up. Okay, that's good. Jumping off. Eating the cheesy special. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that is not good. That is a lot of HP. 1 more jump off, I think. No. Oh, no. That won't work. No, that's so bad. That's too bad, guys. I'm so sorry. He was just not being nice to us there. That's just the way it goes with these things. We will be able to skip a few of the phases here, but this won't go all the way, I don't think. Maybe. This... No, wait. What? No way. Oh my god, that that worked. That's the hard strat that was not supposed to work. How lucky is that? Thank you so much. That's Crosscode. I mean, Yeah, a fun little strat to beat the entirety of the last boss. Sadly, it's patched out on the newer version because it could softlock you, I believe, or something along those lines. And with that, I think there's only one last line in the game I want to say here, and it's coming up, and it is... Ooh, wait for it, wait for it. And thus, the experience is over. Thank you for watching ESA, and stick around for the next run of, what was it, Little Big Planet 2? Yeah, dude. That's gonna be sick.
I'm gonna take this time to stall a bit, cause if you look at the clock, we're a bit ahead of
Sorry about that.
the originally planned running time. So I'm gonna throw out some donations here. We have $10 from Mikael that says, "Always excited to see what games are run during ESA, and I love that it's all done to support a good cause." And I fully agree with that statement. It's beautiful. And we have a $32 donation from City Bear that says, "Bring on the rave!" Because these two fine gentlemen have donated to make Crab Rave take the lead on the Little Big Planet 2 bid war. And since we're a bit early, we're gonna have a bit longer intermission to not go way ahead of schedule. So that's gonna give you guys a bit more time to try and snipe that Little Big Planet 2 incentive. So we'll see you guys in a bit.